Wait, before you start scrolling past this video, did you know that there's a bipartisan bill that would ban children from social media? If there's a 10% U.S. tariff on China, what would that mean for people living here in Hampton Roads? For example, let's say that my car breaks down. 1 hour, that's how long users under the age of 18 will be allowed to use TikTok. So we asked students in Hampton Roads what they thought of this. With just 2 weeks left until Election Day here in Virginia, Congresswoman Jen Kiggins and Missy Cotter-Smossel told me that they've been busier than ever. These games are a real driver for business. For example, a customer could come in just to grab a snack and then come across the game and think, you know what, I'm going to donate a few more dollars to the business and see if I can win a game. Here's the problem. There is so much snow and just nowhere to put it. For context, I'm 5'2". Look at this bank of snow. It's literally 2 of me. So imagine if you don't have a car for a second and your only method of transportation is walking. This is impossible. You have to walk in the street or stay home. These incidents happened at 3 different locations, but there's one common denominator, and that's at one point or another, the victims were all at this MBTA station. We're going to show you that video one more time. You can see that man caught on camera who police believe might be involved. But that's not the worst part of it. You have to really come down here to the basement to see the damage. In fact, we're going to show you a little bit about what we've been seeing. If you look up, you can see that corroding of the ceiling, that discoloration, and that's not even the worst part about it. 4 years ago, there were heat shield issues with Artemis 1, which is why managers changed the flight path for Artemis 2 and are very confident in today's planned landing.
Right now, Virginia is the worst state for seatbelt use. But due to the persistence of a heartbroken parent, that law has now changed. What that means is that if you're over the age of 18 and you're sitting in the back seat, you need to buckle up.
Hi, baby. We are making changes. We are saving lives.
Christy King lost her 18-year-old son, Christopher, in 2020. A crash that crumbled her world and the world of his loved ones.
I remember telling him I love him, man. I was like, Chris, we're gonna figure this out, man. We got you.
Including his 2 friends, Alvin and Fred, both of whom were with Christopher in his final moments of life. That night, Fred Hanna told me that he, Christopher, and 2 other friends were driving, and disaster struck when an intoxicated driver took the wheel.
Chris was sitting actually right behind the passenger seat. I was sitting right here in this seat with the top down. Chris actually flew right over my head, right over top of me, and landed and hit the pavement.
Christopher's friend Alvin Costas says he raced to the scene to help.
I just seen Chris laying on the side of the road, and so I immediately went up to him and tried to perform CPR.
We all got around him trying to find something, how to stop the bleeding in any way to try to keep him with us.
The driver of the car is currently serving 20 years in prison. According to King, the occupants of the car were all wearing seatbelts and lived, except for her son.
It was that one time he jumped in the back seat, took his life.
Since the summertime, Christy, Alvin, and Fred have fought for stricter rules.
Because currently, the seatbelt law for adults is only required for the front seat passengers. It's a secondary law, and the fine is $25.
That law has been altered and will take effect July 1st.
Delegate Keys Gamara carried the bill for us. She's the sponsor. And she changed it to adding just the back seats to the current law. So it's still a secondary law.
But the fight is far from over for Christopher's loved ones.
Primary laws do work. That is the most effective way. So this is a good start. But yes, we will be back.
A continuing effort to keep other families from feeling the grief felt by them. In Williamsburg, Danielle Saitta, WTKR News 3.
And to get their attention, we took to the drawing board. Drove out to Virginia Beach and asked the million-dollar question. You want to talk to me about TikTok? After asking their parents, the students we talked to under the age of 17 told us how much they TikToked.
I use it every day. I wouldn't be proud of how much I say I use it.
Basically every day is probably an addiction now.
So like on days I was sick or during the summer, I would be on it maybe about 2-3 hours a day.
If I wasn't doing something, I would just pull out my phone and get on TikTok. So I was like, that's probably not a good thing.
On Wednesday, the app sent out a new guideline saying there's going to be a 60-minute default timer on the accounts belonging to those under the age of 18. and we were surprised to hear the reactions of the students.
I don't think it's terrible because there are a lot of people that spend way too much time on it, and it's very bad for your mental health and I think self-image.
And it's not just the kids getting kicked off. On Monday, the White House told government agency employees that there's a 30-day countdown to delete the app on government devices. This comes after the ban of the popular platform on the phones of federal government employees that was announced by Congress in December. The reason being because supposed security risks coming from the app headquartered in Beijing, China. Still, some of the kids think there's some loopholes their teen peers can jump through.
I use it so much, I'd be pretty bummed out if it just quit on me like that.
But for the kids we talked to, they think it's best to unplug from the platform.
I mean, it's a good thing because it's just helped me easier to focus on other things than just TikTok.
In Virginia Beach, Danielle Saitta, News 3.
This isn't okay.
It's been a long week for mom Esmeralda Castle. Her daughter, Angelina Resendez, was last seen May 29th at Naval Station Norfolk. Earlier this week, I spoke to her on Zoom before she flew from Harlingen, Texas to Hampton Roads. And on Saturday, I talked to her again before she boarded her plane back home, carrying on a lot of unanswered questions from NCIS.
They interviewed me for a little while. I took a lot of DNA swabs. I asked them questions, but I didn't get very many answers.
When I sat down with her, I asked if it's possible that Angelina may have left without permission.
I asked that question too, if that is something that they're saying, that they don't think that she's just gone without permission, that she's missing, sad, sick, whatever, she shows up to work.
And to back up that belief, Esmeralda says she personally explored her daughter's barracks.
Her fan was still on. She had a yoga mat, stretched out on the floor with weights. She had food in there, her soups, little teas. She had water bottles.
She also says there has been no monetary trail left behind.
No money's been spent. She hasn't spent any money since the last day.
Esmeralda admitted in the past Angelina has struggled with mental health.
She was struggling with suicide for a little bit last year.
When speaking to investigators, she's been given little to no information.
I asked them if they had her phone. They can't tell me if they have her phone or not.
I reached out to the NCIS and asked them why. They wouldn't say much, but did tell me that all info is confidential until they can gather as much info as possible. Any information they give out could be incorrect while an investigation is still ongoing. In other words, it's a waiting game. And despite being desperate for answers and heartbroken, Esmeralda has to go back to her other children in Texas. But she did have this message for her daughter in case she were to see this interview.
I want to see you again. And I love you. Everything's going to be okay. And one way or another, we're going to see each other again.
In Chesapeake, Danielle Saitta, WTKR News 3.